think of dreams as fantasy. And I think people think of dreams as child's play. I got real responsibilities. I got real obligations. I got a real boss. I got real kids. I got real friends. And dreams don't necessarily fit in that kind of vision of themselves, but I think that's a mistake.
Like if I hear another Black woman say that she getting another degree, I'm like, sis, do you need another degree? Do you need it?
I think for dreaming, for Black women in particular, it feels like a luxury.
But the gag is they still don't think you need to be there. They still don't think you deserve to be there. So do you, girl, dream?
Right. I don't need you to be the great inventor. I need you to dream and have an imagination about the world and the experiences that you want to have. Because why wouldn't we? We're going to dream and imagine. It's going to be better.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. We might imagine, hey, this is going to kill me. This is going to take me out. I'm in danger, girl. But you're not.
Just saying that out loud, I'm going after something I want.
Yeah. And whatever happens.
And whatever happens, happens. If we're going to say we're our ancestors' dreams, man, we got a dream.
We do.
Because we acknowledge that our ancestors' dream, but where's our dream?
You're watching We Ain't Dying for This, a Black woman's guide to liberation. And I'm your host, Crystle Johnson. We are a community of Black women demanding our collective liberation through radically soft living. Each Thursday, we feature the stories of Black women who have set themselves free from the expectations of others and are choosing to live on their own terms.
Hey, y'all, and welcome to another episode of We Ain't Dying for This, a Black woman's guide to liberation. I am your host, Crystle Johnson, and we are a community of Black women demanding our collective liberation through radically soft living. I am so excited to be here in LA today having a conversation with my sis, Kimberly Pack, about dreams as liberation. Hey, girl.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Happy to be here with you.
Yeah, me too. And we just meeting each other for the first time in person.
Listen, meeting online is real, y'all.
Yes, I was so happy when you were like, let me come back for season 2. And I was like, all right, okay.
I was like, you gonna let me slide through again? Okay, great.
Always. And I'm so glad to like feel the same energy that I feel with you online in person.
Oh, I appreciate that.
You're the same person.
Everywhere I go.
Mm-hmm. That's always good. So before we start talking about dreams and who you are, I want to just start off a little bit light with some this or that in our this or that segment.
Let's do it.
So the first question is, would you say old school R&B or 2000s hip hop?
I'm going to go old school R&B. I'm rocking with Beyonce no matter what, but that's my fave.
Okay,
R&B early. I already got my Cowboy Carter tickets. I will be there.
Okay, but where are you going to be?
Chicago.
Okay.
Yes. So I'll be home.
Amazing. I was talking to someone yesterday and they were like, yeah, I'm waiting on Paris. I was like, okay, girl, it's fancy. So fancy.
It's worth it.
I bet. I've never been to a Beyonce concert, but one day.
Oh.
It's not that I don't want to go. I just have not been to one.
Okay, we're going to talk after. I don't want to distract our dreaming conversation because I tell you, I'm not even officially Beehive, and I'm like, what? Okay.
Yeah. Yes. But I really want to go. I honestly thought that the tickets were not affordable, but someone was like, no, like floor seat for X amount. And I was like, oh, that's not, I was thinking thousands of dollars, and that's not the case. So
no.
Good to know at this point. Okay. Second one is spades or Uno.
Okay. So Uno because it's safer, because the people I pay spades with, you might get cut. So, just for safety, I'm going to go Uno.
Okay. I actually haven't talked to anyone today who said that they can't play spades.
I can play.
Yeah.
But it's just the pressure, man. You got to count the books. You got to pay attention. You better be savvy.
Yeah,
listen.
Absolutely. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, I'm surprised that I haven't talked to anyone yet who said that I can't play spades.
Because you're talking to black women.
In another location, they were like,
oh,
I don't know how to play spades. And I was like, what?
Oh, no. I grew up on spades, and I went to HBCU. I was already ready. So, yes. Okay. Uno for safety, though.
Okay. For sure. Do you play Uno where you stack on top of the draws?
I do when it's adults. With the kids, we do the one.
Okay. Gotcha. Because the kids be crying.
The kids cry because they get so mean, especially when everybody have them, and that's like draw 24. That is not nice. You cannot do the babies like that.
That's so true.
Not okay.
They can't even hold the cards
They
at that
cannot.
point.
They
don't know
already
what's in their
struggling.
hand.
That
Exactly.
ain't just the cards as tall as they are.
Showing you all the cards in their hand because they're trying to figure out like what card do I need to pull. So
Yes.
true.
We
so
play
true.
different rules with the children.
Final question.
Yeah.
Is self-care Sunday or Sunday brunch?
I'm self-care Sunday now. It used to be a brunch, but now I'm enjoying my Sundays to myself with my own little practices.
Okay, tell us about some of your practices.
So I'm always getting up journaling. I like to sleep in and not set any alarm for Sundays if I can help it. And I do what I want to do. So I lay in a bed probably about an hour and a half. I'm doing a little stretching. I'm yawning. I'm napping. I might start a book. So I don't even get out of bed the first 2-3 hours of a Sunday because I'm just lounging and enjoying being alive.
Yes, I love that so much, especially the part about doing what I want to do. Because we often have so many things that we have to do or perceive that we have to do.
Yeah, that story.
So it is nice to get up in the morning and just say, you know what? I just want to lay here for a couple hours, scroll on the internet, journal, read a book, whatever it is that I want to do. That's the thing that I'm going to do with no pressure.
No pressure. Yeah, and I don't have a TV in the room, so I don't do the TV, so that's good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That is good. You know, I used to be that person. Then I dated someone who was like, actually, it was my ex-wife who was like, no, I need a TV in the room. And I bent to that. So there's still a TV in my bedroom.
Okay, we can revisit that, or maybe it's okay for you right now.
Truth. So let's talk about these dreams.
Yeah.
So dreaming or dreams is something that you really wanted to talk about to Black women who are wanting to learn more about liberation or even just see liberation through your lens and the lens of dreams.
Yeah.
So what lies do we tell ourselves about dreams?
I think we think of dreams as fantasy. And I think people think of dreams as child's play, right? Like, we have real things to do. I got real responsibilities. I got real obligations. I got a real boss. I got real kids. I got real friends. And so this idea of dreaming is like, that's a hobby. That's for somebody else. You know, so who am I to dream? I'm a realist. I'm a professional woman. I'm a high achiever. Dreams don't necessarily fit in that kind of vision of themselves, but I think that's a mistake. And I think that when we are very caught up in what we're doing and what we're about to achieve, the next degree, the next certificate. Ask a Black woman about what they're doing next. I bet they're taking a certificate. They get a certificate. They get another degree. And I'm like, somebody told me they just got their master's in mindfulness. And I think that's amazing. I'm like, dude, we getting masters in mindfulness? And that's amazing that she wanted to have that deep thought. But I would be curious about what was the driver behind signing up for something like that. Because oftentimes we feel like we have to validate ourselves, and those degrees give us validation, but I think something else. But we're talking about dreams, so that's another conversation. But I think for dreaming, for Black women in particular, it feels like a luxury. It feels like inappropriate for us being at this big grown age. Who am I to dream? And I think that's part of the storytelling around dreaming and why it's not at the forefront of folks' minds, particularly in times like this, which is why I want to talk about this so bad right now in this moment.
It's so important to be able to lean into your dreams and to dream, because we have been taught like, oh, that's just a dream. I mean, you know, the example people often use is like, oh, I want to be a basketball player. I want to be in the NFL, or I want to be a rapper. Those are very stereotypically Black, but those are like dreams. Right. And while like for many people, those are things that might not ever come true, because how many people go to the league? Like, how many people actually become rappers? There are other things that are also considered dreams as well. And you may have left those things behind as a child. You've forgotten about them because you were told, oh, you need to be a doctor. You need to go get these degrees, which is something that we do often do. Like, if I hear another Black woman say that she getting another degree, I'm like, sis, do you need another degree? Do you need it? Because really what we're doing is trying to prove to people that we are qualified, that we deserve to be in a space because of merit. When, to be honest, it's never been about merit. It's never been about qualifications. It's been about power and privilege and who holds that power and privilege. And we have played into this idea of, well, in order for me to be here, I need to work 10 times harder. Yeah. I need to have this certificate. I need to have this degree that shows you that I deserve to be here. But the gag is they still don't think you need to be there. They still don't think you deserve to be there. So do you, girl. Dream.
Right. And I think to your point, two things you said that are really important that I want to call out. One, when we talk about dreams, a lot of times it is around a profession. So that's why we think it's too late, right? But there's dreams beyond what we do for a living and how we might earn money. Mm-hmm. But that's what people think. So it's like, I'm 35, I'm 40, I'm 50. Like, what's a dream? Like, I'm be what I am now, right? And that's not true. So the other one is this with the degrees and the validation is when we don't believe in ourselves. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it never feels right because we haven't done the work to say, yes, I know I'm qualified. And not in a superficial way, but in that real way where we don't have to look for a degree. Because some of it is for us to throw down that Trump card. Look, I went to Harvard. But if I, at some point, you could be bad without those degrees from those caliber schools or without the certificate based on your know-how, your strategy, your proven track record. But we don't always honor our past successes. We don't always honor our capability because we only wait for somebody else to say good job. And so we don't fully encompass that. Again, not dreaming, but I just wanted to highlight that.
Oh no, like all of this is important because I think having that conversation about what you just shared and then dreaming is giving people permission to step out of the box that we've been told we should stand in and to do something else because we have options. We have the ability to do so many other things than what we were taught that we should or can do.
Yeah, I think that's right. Thank you for that. Because I was like, I'll keep getting off topic. And I know it's all good and it's all related. And so I think with the dream in this period of time, I just think it's so important because you have to tap into your imagination. Mm-hmm. And what dreaming and imagination does, it creates things that's not there. Yeah. And people are operating in their dreams and their imaginations in front of us every day, and we don't recognize ourselves because we think dreaming, again, is fantasy. But there's some people in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue that's dreaming of a world without federal agencies. Mm-hmm. That takes imagination. Mm-hmm. We've had these agencies for a very long time. And so there's people who have an imagination around going to Mars, and they have imagination around all this stuff, and they dream a thing, and then they make it happen. And we are literally operating in folks' dreams every day. Yes. Every day, you getting in certain cars that people thought about, some technology. Like, we are literally surrounded by people who had a thought, who had a dream, who a ha-ha moment came in their sleep, and then they took action on it. Yes. Right? And so when we take that for ourselves, and I don't need you to be the great inventor. I need you to dream and have an imagination about the world and the experiences that you want to have. Mm-hmm. And that's available to us. And when we don't lean into that, we find ourselves living a life that we don't even want, that we don't even recognize, that we're not even in touch with because we're just like operating on autopilot. And I don't want that for us. And I think the world is going to be a better place with more Black women in particular dreaming, because the things that we're going to come up with is not going to stop with just us. It's going to impact our families. It's going to impact our neighborhoods. It's going to impact our communities and ultimately the world. And so that's why in 2025, that's why I want to talk about dreaming as liberation, because we need you. We're waiting on you in these dreams.
Yes, absolutely. 1,000%. And what I would love for you to do is share like how dreaming has transformed your life, just to give Black women an example of what that looks like. And who were you before you started dreaming and leaning into your dreams?
Yeah, I think, I haven't fully realized my dream yet, but I'm working towards it. So I want to start there because I think that's important. So I done gave myself permission. I dream all the time. I'm in imagination all the time. I'm thinking about a world where, nobody's poor. Like, I just be thinking about wild things that I have never experienced. Yeah. And I think about, particularly for the Black culture, I think about our most notable and prolific freedom fighters and how they must have had an imagination and a dream for a world that they had never experienced. How amazing that could be, that you could be enslaved. So we're not even in that type of level of stress right now. Yeah. We are in still a privileged place. But to think about our ancestors, those who came before us, who were literally in the dark and sunken place, in chains, and they still had, some of them, enough of them, had thoughts for a different type of life that they may not even live into, but was worth fighting for. That's what I ache into my own personal dreams. I feel like if we're going to say we are our ancestors' dreams, well, we got a dream.
We do.
Because we acknowledge that our ancestors dream, but where's our dream? Like, there's this disconnect. How are you your ancestors' dream? So you're acknowledging that the ancestors dreamed, but then you're just living out their dream. No. There's more dreaming that has to happen that we're responsible for now. What is it that we're going to dream up? And then to bring it back to ourselves, that's the transformation. I feel so powerful. I feel like a creator, even though the full world that I seek to create hasn't here, but I know it will be here.
Yeah.
Because I've thought the thought and I believe in it genuinely and wholeheartedly. And I'm not worried about when it's going to happen because it's going to happen. Like when it happens, but I'm going to be doing the work in the meantime. And it drives me in every choice and decision that I'm making because I am pursuing my dream.
Yeah.
And that is incredibly powerful and incredibly rewarding before I even make it to the place.
Yes, that's beautiful. That's really beautiful because that's something else that I think holds us back as well, is that we want to see the change tomorrow. Like, we live in a microwave society, and while we like to think that we're anti-capitalist and we're like all these, we live in a capitalist society, so of course we're like taking it all in, and it does impact the way that we live our lives. So when you think about a dream, what I think about is like, when I want to do something new and then I try it the first time and I fail and I'm like, ooh, maybe that isn't something that I need to be doing because I didn't do it perfectly or I didn't get it right. But it's like, no, like, keep going, like, keep dreaming, keep doing the things that you want to do, keep being the person or striving to be the person that you want to be, because you'll get there. It doesn't have to be perfect and it may not be overnight, but it's coming. And I like that you put it that way because we often get discouraged when things don't happen in the time that we think that they should happen.
Yeah. And I feel like we acknowledge that things take practice and experimentation in a lot of different areas except for ourselves. Because it feels ouchy. It feels uncomfortable. It feels like failure. And it's like, there are whole books like Fail Fast. Like, in business, we get it, right? We've seen projects fail. We see different iterations. We see a version 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Look what number phone we're on. These are iterations.
Yeah.
And I don't think we apply it to ourselves, even though we have some awareness in other contexts. So bringing it to ourselves. And I think this is so great that we're talking again, because one of the things we talked about when we spoke last year was on becoming our own safest place. And when we become our own safest place, when we have these missteps or things don't work out the way we want, instead of shooting ourselves down, instead of automatically start being harsh with ourselves, name calling, like, we're like, girl, you so stupid, why you think? Like, we could be really harsh with ourselves.
Yes.
And that adds more pressure, because if we're not even safe with ourselves, clearly the rest of the world is
not feeling safe.
Listen. So if we can establish ourselves as our own safe place to say, oh, what happened there? Even when we make the mistakes, what happened there? Okay, I still love you. You still good. You still that girl. What else should we do? Is this the right way? Is there a better path? Do we try it again? What little tweaks should we make? What if we were that with ourselves? Then we would give ourselves permission to try more things, to fail, which is none of it's a failure. We learn from the thing. So it's not technically a failure. We can reframe any of it, because, you know, if the first thing didn't blow up, we wouldn't know that, okay, we can't do that, right? Or something else happened. And then sometimes from the blow up, we come up with an even better idea. Sometimes these setbacks become like, oh my gosh, I'm kind of glad that happened, because now I know this and now I'm going this way. And it could be liberating. It could lead us down a beautiful paths and ways of doing things. And so becoming our own safest place is super important if we're going to be dreaming, and not just dreaming, if we're going to start taking actions on our dreams, if we're going to become creators where we are bringing things into reality. You have to be your own safest place.
We literally do. We literally do. I've shared this story with other people, but I went on this voyage and I just did all these things that I would not normally do. And in talking to my therapist, so when I talked to her before I went on this trip, she asked me, she said, Crystle, what is your anxiety level right now? And I was like, 7. I was like, 7. I don't feel good at all. I was like, I'm worried about all these different things. And then I basically did like 30 days of exposure therapy on myself, but not realizing that that was what I was doing. I just was like, you know what? I'm going to be present in the moment. I'm just going to do all these different things that maybe they aren't perfect the first time. I'm not going to be tied to the outcome. And by the time I came back around to her and she asked me the same question, I was like, 0. I don't have anxiety about anything, actually, anymore. Yeah. So to me, like, that is something that I did for myself. So now, like, when I have a dream or when I have a thought or an idea, then I just go after the thought or the idea without feeling like it needs to be perfect the first time that I do the thing, or it needs to, like, be what I imagine it to be very quickly, as if it's a microwave, and it doesn't actually need to be that, because I feel safe in failing, learning, whatever it is that we want to call it. I feel safe in that because I understand that, oh, I just learned a lesson here. But that doesn't mean that I'm a bad person. It doesn't mean that I wasn't productive. It doesn't mean that I'm a failure. It just means that I learned from whatever it is that I tried. Now let me go try something else, girl.
Yes. All it means is that particular thing on this particular day didn't work out, because you might try the same thing and it magically works. Mm-hmm. That's all it means. And I think to give ourselves permission to experience whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, we want to control the narrative when you just can't. And when you are controlling things, you're very limited, because so many things are outside of our control. And so let's just go through the experience. Let's have the experience. Let's get the lesson, and then revisit. And it's okay to what? Change our minds.
Yeah.
What if we go down that
100%.
path? And that's the other thing. What if I go down this path and I don't like it? Then you get to make another choice.
Yeah.
You get to say, direction. You know what? I thought I would really like adult coloring. I'm telling on my own self. Because it was all the rage, and I'm buying these coloring books, and these black women have created color books. I hate coloring. I don't like it. All my stuff be ugly. I don't be doing the colors right. I be judging it. I don't like it.
Right. It's like they be perfect with the shading, and it's like, I'm like, I don't want to. That's not my thing.
I like a short puzzle. 48 pieces. I don't want your 500 piece. I don't want your 100 piece. If somebody came out with a 25 piece, I'd probably like that one too. So I know that that's something I like. And I know it's something that centers me, and it's something I enjoy. And so I can make another choice. So this idea that I would just keep forcing myself, I gotta because that's what we'll even do with self-care. We'll be like, well, my one friend was doing massages, and then she finally said, I don't really like massages. And I know that's bad and that's weird, because who doesn't like massages? Yeah. So when her friends do spas now, she gets the facial. And I'm like, right. Facials are good. They're relaxing, and it's a face massage. But she doesn't like massages. Right. And she was forcing herself to do massages because it seemed like something that she should like and that she should enjoy.
Yeah.
And so when we give ourselves this permission to lean into our dreams and to lean into our imaginations, we become our own safest place. We get to pivot. We get to pivot because it seems like this is a wall, and so it makes sense to pivot. We get to pivot because we arrived and didn't like it. And this is also with relationships. Baby, you might not like that man no more. Don't stay with that man 5 more years. Yeah. Or that woman 5 more years. But we do that. We're like, because I got the man. I said I wanted the man. I said I wanted the partner. Yeah. And it's like, you get to make another choice.
And it's the attachment to time, too. Correct. It's like, I spent all of this time. I gave all this energy. Exactly. I gave of these resources. So I have to make this thing work, and you don't have to make it work, because there's probably something else out there for you,
or just you when you choose yourself, and you get to say, you know what, it's been 2 years, it's been 3 years, there is an experience here. I get to appreciate that experience. I'm going to take the things I need to take, the lessons. I'm going to take the things I'm never going to do again, so now I have new boundaries out of this. And then we get to celebrate that. And we get to grieve the ending. Yes. We get to celebrate the ending, and then we move on to whatever's next. And we project that it's going to be better. Because why wouldn't we? If we're going to dream and imagine, it's going to be better.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. You were saying something about control, and there's this place, and we're not going to name the place because y'all need to sponsor this podcast. But there's this place that Kimberly loves to go. And I visited this place, and as we talk about control, I went on one of their obstacle courses, and I am terrified of heights. Terrified, like literally terrified. And I climbed up this telephone pole that had these large little things coming out of them that looked like giant staples. So I'm like harnessed up, climbing up this little pole. And then you're supposed to get to the top of the pole, stand on top of the pole, like 30 feet in the air, and jump down. Girl. When I was looking at that little pole, I was like, oh, that's crazy. I was like, but I'm going to try to do it. And I got up there. I feel like I did it pretty quickly. I was able to like be present and observe the things around me. But when they asked me to jump down, I was like, I can't control that. I was like, am I about to jump to my death? Yeah. I was so terrified to jump. But when I jumped, for like a second, I was like, ah! And then I realized, oh, I'm okay. I didn't drop down to the ground. Like, it was actually like a slow lowering of myself, because I had to trust that the person who had the other side had me, and I was not going to fall to my death. And that's what I think about as we talk about dreams and like trying things, because we might imagine, hey, this is gonna kill me, this is gonna take me out, I'm in danger, girl. But you're not. Like, you have the ability to just try. Yeah. And there are so many other places you can go from trying.
Yeah. And some of it's not even like death defying. It's like, I'm gonna be embarrassed. People gonna know I tried and it didn't work out. What they're gonna think about me? This shame. So some of it is like, literally, we just worried about other people. We let other people's future possible thoughts keep us,
girl,
from
because
living.
Ain't nobody judging you but you right now.
And who cares? Like, you gonna let people's potential thoughts about the thing that we haven't done yet keep you from trying. It's like, I'll be embarrassed. How can I be embarrassed by going after something I want? Like, just saying that out loud, I'm going after something I want.
Yeah. And whatever happens.
Happens. And yeah, people will know. But for some people, they're going to be like, wow, I really admire you. And some other people go hate and be like, that's what you got. But guess what? That person ain't pursued a dream.
Exactly.
So that's not our right audience.
But what have you done? What have you done?
That audience member who is always on the sidelines, always in the audience, baby, we are getting on the field. Why aren't you on the sidelines of your own life? Yeah, that's what dreaming unlocks you, to get in the field and play. Otherwise, we just in our own sidelines in our own life, like just reacting to whatever somebody else said. This boss did this job happened, and we just reacting and doing the quote unquote best we can.
Yes,
even though we're not actively participating in it. Exactly. And that's what dreaming and imagination unlocks for us. This idea of really starting to create what we want, and whatever it ends up being.
Yes, because we need to live. Because if we are not living, we are surviving. We are existing. And honestly, like, I need more for myself, and I need more for you, and more for anyone who's listening. Yeah. I need you to live. Live your life.
Yes, we have one life. There's some people who say we have others. I don't want that confirmed. I leave the dead alone. So I don't know if we're coming back in another body as a butterfly. So we have one conscious life that we know we're experiencing right now. And we have to keep that in mind when we're out here playing small, or we're out here disconnected from our bodies, disconnected from our dreams. Like, this is our shot, y'all. We don't know if we get another shot. Because if I come back as a butterfly, it's different. The butterfly don't live
butterfly
like we live.
Living a different life.
It's a completely different experience. So this is my known human experience.
Yes.
And I really want to take advantage of it. And I didn't have this awareness forever. And so I'm so grateful that I have it now. And I'm like thrilled that I'm like talking about it with you, and we're sharing it with so many more people. Yeah. And you're creating something that may stand the test of time. I love that for us.
Yes. Me too. Me too. Me too. I mean, literally, I woke up several months ago and said, I'm living a life that I don't love. Like, I built it. It's great. And there has to be something else for me. Yeah. And there are a lot of people who are having those same thoughts, and you have to be brave enough to just say, I'm going to try. Like, what else is it out there? I want to discover what that thing is, because there's so many things that I thought I liked. There's so many things that I thought I wanted. But when I really sat down with myself, I realized, no, that's what my mama wanted. That's what my daddy wanted. That's what my friends wanted. That's what my partner wanted. That's what the world told me that I should want. But those are not actually things that I want. Yeah. So to that point, if there is a Black woman who is listening and she is struggling with this concept of dreams, pursuing her dreams, what advice or like homework would you give her to kind of like begin to step into pursuing her dreams?
Yeah, I would just start one by considering whether you're your own safest space or place, and be honest with yourself around that and do some work around that. The other thing I would say, and I'm offering this now, I'm having people in my newsletter do this what if story. And this what if story is not even down the road. I'm asking people to get into December 31st, 2025, and if they got everything they wanted, what would that be? And they're supposed to write it out. And then the follow-up question is, what would you have overcome to get all the things you want? Because that's dreaming. And the thing about this future casting is research suggests that we see our future selves as distant and as strangers. It's not ourselves. So our future self, we don't think about them at all, or it feels like not us. So because we're really concerned about the past and the present, because that's what we know. And so the power in dreaming is getting intimate with our future selves. Who do we want to be? What do I want to experience? And sitting with that. Because when we sit with that, we start having a mental and emotional connection to that future self, we will make different decisions automatically. They did this for finances. So people, when they imagine themselves as seniors, started saving more money for their retirement because they saw themselves as seniors and they connected this long off thing to more now. And so they thought about that future self, and they started making decisions and choices to support that future self that they made a connection with. So what is your dream self? So start off with a what if story. What if you got everything you wanted by December 31st? What would that be? And you could do it for society, you could do it in your profession, you could do it in your personal life. Just pick one area if you need to. If you can't put the whole picture together, say, what would I like my professional life to look like by the end of this year? What would it feel like? What types of things, and ask more questions. What types of things would I be experiencing? What type of people would I be around? What kind of work would I be doing? Would it involve work travel, not work travel? Would it be part-time? Would it be full-time? How much money would I be making? When I wake up in the morning, how would I feel about this job? Like, just start going down and painting a very vivid picture and jotting down notes and really sitting in the feeling. The feeling, that's the accelerator. The feeling of, how good would it feel? How freeing would it feel? Like, I'm getting super excited over here. I'm going to have to get a camera, get a curtain up, y'all, because I'm getting feeling good over here, thinking about how good my future self will feel just in December 31st, right? And so just that practice of it. And then when you have that dream, when you jotted something down, ask yourself this: what's one thing I can do to start supporting this dream? What's one thing I can do? And that one thing could be, I'm going to commit to thinking about this future self every day for 5 minutes and feeling it. I'm going to share with a couple of people some of my dreams and see what they can help me with, or if they'll support me on this new task. I'm going to think about who's in my life who could start helping me, and I'm going to start reaching out and make. So you could sidestep this, you can jump right into this, but the point is to not let go of the dream. And then to don't let it go of the dream, to keep revisiting the dream, to making sure you feel it. It's all up in the inside of you. You can start associating scents with it. I have a potion. It's really an oil, whatever. But I like to call things rituals and potions. I like it to be hokey. And so I have this Redeem potion that I put on, and it's made with a lot of good stuff. And I smell it, and I smell it every night. But even if I don't do it, I can conjure up the scent. Just like a song. Is there a song that you can conjure up that's connected to your dream? There's so many ways to accelerate this and make it real for ourselves. But that's where I would start. I would start with becoming your own safest place and mapping out a dream in one area, and then taking one action and commit to kind of building on that one action to make this dream happen.
Yeah. What I heard is manifest that thing, girl. Manifest it, because that's literally what you are doing and creating this what if story and making all of these different connections, is that you are manifesting this thing to happen for you. And it can happen. Yes. And I love that you put what small thing can I do every day? Because I think we often think of dreams as bigger than us. It's this thing that I can't even reach. Like you said, as my future self. Who is that person? I don't know who that person is. I'm not familiar with them. But you think they're so far off, and you just think of it as this thing with all these different steps. But really all you need to do is just start. And for me, I'm glad you brought up music, because there's this playlist that I have called Journey with Me. And I put all these high vibrational songs on there about freedom, And about Bigger, the Bigger song from Beyonce is on there as well. Just to show you, I like Beyonce.
Right.
I love Beyonce. But yeah, there's all these different songs, and I listen to that music and that playlist when I'm in the shower in the morning, and it really does like give me like the energy and push and motivation to do the things that I want to do throughout the day, or to really make sure that I'm standing in the person that I want to be and not allowing these external forces to just like pull me around, but I'm actually who I want to be every day. And that music reminds me of that.
Yeah, and you need those sort of reminders. Even this morning, right? I had the workshop. I came in. I thought the time was different. And then I ended the workshop, and I'm always on a high, and I like to chill, but I didn't get to do the full chill that I wanted to do. Then I had to drive in LA traffic, and I was talking to my friend. And I was like, you know what? I don't like all this complaining I'm doing. I don't like it. And I get to say that to myself, and I got to stop. Mm-hmm. But I could have just kept going, and I could have just decided my whole day was going to be one complaint after the other, and then this and this, and I haven't eaten yet, and she offered me a cookie, and that's it. I want something better than a cookie. Or I could say, this is amazing. This is a good day. This thing is working itself out. I am so excited about this opportunity. I'm excited to be here. I'm just like, you can change the vibrations for yourself right away. And so this idea, again, it's not about perfection. It is about practice. It's about awareness. It's about committing to recommit every day or part-time during the day, right? So I didn't get myself together to 11:12 today. But then I got myself together at 11:12 today, and I get to hold on to I got together at 11:12, honey. If you would have called me at 10, I was a negative Nancy. I was, but I'm not now.
Yeah.
Right? This idea that we can make another choice, that we can stop ourselves where we are when we find ourselves going down past in our minds and our thinking and our actions. We have so much control over that.
We do.
And that's where we need to exhibit the control over how we think about things and how we're approaching things, and staying in the light.
Yes, because
we
got to stay in the light.
Stay in the light.
So for those who are listening who loved everything that you were saying, love your energy, because I do, where can they find you online?
You can find me online on IG at Together Ascend. You can find me on LinkedIn at Ascend Together Solutions. And my website, right? www.togetherascend. So my company is Ascend Together, but that's an accounting company, so just find me at the reverse, okay? Because we're going to ascend together and together ascend, okay?
I love that.
So come see me.
I love that so much. I've really enjoyed, first of all, meeting you in person and having a second conversation together, because we were on season 1 together. Now we're on season 2, and you've been a delight.
Thank you for having me.
As always. Thank you for being here. And thank you to everyone who tuned in this week to talk about dreams as liberation. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of We Ain't Dying for This, a Black woman's guide to liberation. Catch up on previous episodes on the Living Corporate Network and on YouTube. You're also invited to join our exclusive community for access to early episode releases, exclusive content, live events, and more.